What's going on, everybody? Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. This is your boy, Sean Blaque, a.k.a. DFS 5050. You can follow me on Instagram at Sean Blaque, SeanBlaque, and at DFS 5050 for all your daily fantasy, sort of, but not really, at DFS 5050. Excuse me. Welcome to the Lineup Builder Show. Just trying to make some things shake here, having a great day in paradise. Nonetheless, today is going to be a very interesting slate. I don't know if y'all caught some of the recent news, but if you haven't, apparently Eric Bledsoe won't be playing for Phoenix anymore. I guess he got too expensive and he's not meshing well with the young guns out there. So there's a lot of value going on out there tonight. Just right off the bat, if you want to stack a team, basically from the looks of it, it's good to stack Phoenix. You know what I mean? From top to bottom, if you really wanted to. From Tyler Ulis to Devin Booker, TJ Warren, let's see who else, and Allen Williams. I don't know who their power forward is. However, those four guys are definitely in play for this evening. Another scenario that I want to run by y'all is Chicago stack is going to be another interesting stack. Let's look at their over-under on that game. I think the over-under is not all that great, but it's medium. I guess it's like medium range compared to all the other over-unders throughout this entire slate. But it's definitely going to be a good stack due to the fact that there's going to be some. John Wall is questionable for tonight. Of course, y'all know Dwayne Wade is out for the remainder of the season. And then, of course, Chicago, they've been giving a lot of responsibility to Mirotic and Rondo and a couple of other guys. So, they've been fairly consistent. So, I'm calling a Chicago stack or a Phoenix stack. Those are some stacks that you can definitely look at. And, but with no further ado, I finally got my optimizer up and running with all the information that I need. I even have some external information that I've written down by hand. Just a tip for anybody that's working or trying to become a DFS player. Having a pen and pad is life, okay? It's one thing to look at all these different sites and seeing all the statistics and stuff like that, but having a piece of paper and a pen to write on, to kind of write out your ideas and some of your concerns, especially when you're creating your lineup, is essential. I've had more success doing that than just looking straight at numbers and punching numbers and stuff like that in. So just wanted to kind of give y'all that tidbit of advice. One of the things that I was looking at was, how many points are being allowed to each and every single position. And based on that, I've pretty much written down the top 7 players in each position that should have a good night. And then from there, what I'm looking at, what you're seeing in the screen and what I'm looking at, we're looking at the same thing on the screen clearly, but I'm also looking at a sheet of paper where I've handwritten down the top 7 players per position for tonight's slate. And so basically what I'm going to be doing throughout this particular session is just looking back and forth and seeing who matches and who doesn't. Throughout that, we'll be working on building a Fanduel lineup. What I like to do first and foremost, I like to start off by picking out a center. We have some really solid options tonight. And I'm surprised to see that, one second, Anthony Davis is a power forward and not a center. Let me change that right quick. Sorry, one of my live feeds, they try their best to go through the true position of a player, but sometimes that's not what they play on FanDuel. So, right now, we have some players in the mix that I like, and we also have some players in the mix that I don't like. Of course, let's start with the top player, Andrew Wiggins. Honestly, guys, I'm not really a fan of Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins has not been playing well at all for Minnesota. You would think that he would have been the biggest beneficiary outside, since Zach LaVine had got injured for the season, and is not playing for the rest of the season. But honestly, guys, he's been very abysmal. Literally, I mean, he's been having just a sorry ass stretch, and it's not all that good, especially for the price. I mean, 7,100. I don't recommend it. On DraftKings, if you were trying to do something on DraftKings, I think he's like 6,700. So maybe a boom or bust play for you tonight. But again, they're going against Miami. I don't. You know what? In a situation like that, I'd rather go with waiters than Zach. Andrew Wiggins. Anyways, he's to me is a complete fade. Hold on a second here. Yeah. So, anyways, to me, I think Andrew Wiggins is going to be a complete fade for me tonight. I know he's looking very high on my model, but that there's really no emotion to it. I mean, the stats are showing that this dude has just been whack. So, we're gonna move on to the next person, DeMar DeRozan. He's been okay for the price though. 9,300, 41.79 fantasy points. You can try fixing the numbers all you want to, but yeah, that's not going to be a good look right there. And he's going against Detroit. His matchup is not all that great against Detroit, but let's look at his historical, stats. When he was 8,800, he only scored 37.4 fantasy points against them. Now, in the early part of the season, when he was 7,500, he had 42.3 fantasy points. Let's see, last season, 37, 32, 38. Those aren't really great numbers. And he's going against a Detroit team that, is definitely looking to get into playoffs, or in the playoffs, or they're trying to maintain their position to be in the playoff. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked at their rankings as of late because I've had other stuff going on. But in any case, he has the highest usage rate in the team. Last night, I believe he didn't really do all that well against OKC. Matter of fact, they got blown out by 19 points. No, sorry, 21 points. Yes, 21 points. Excuse my math there. But, I mean, guys, you can see 27, 37, 24, 47. I mean, it's not really the most favorable matchup for him against Detroit because Caldwell Pope is pretty dope. So as far as from a defensive standpoint, he could be a boom or bust play too. So I'm fading him. Offered minimal salary, high upside. He's going to be very popular tonight, but in the midst of that, I'm still going to play him. Right now, he's 3,500. And, let's see who else. He's 3,500. Etwan Moore is 3,900. Last time Jordan Crawford played against Houston, he didn't play against Houston. He just got in. He must have been coming from the D League. But anyway, even though the sample size on Jordan Crawford is small, he has been getting consistent minutes over 20. And anytime he does over 25, give or take, he's, been able to do some decent work, 1 for 2 in the 26 minutes or over scenario. But at minimal salary, get you about 20 fantasy points, save you on the salary cap. I actually like the guy a lot. And his DVP is looking really good as well. If you look at FanDuel, his plus minus ratings, he's looking very, very good. His plus minus is at 1.36. His consistency is 100, and he have a 75% upside. And so, with that being said, and his salary dropped from 39 to 400. So, I don't know about y'all. I'm going to go ahead and plug that guy in. Crawford. Okay, so we got Jordan Crawford in there against Houston. And to add to that, it's a high over-under game. So, it's supposed to be very close. And these guys want to, be playing lights out and showing out and all that kind of good stuff. So that's going to be really, really good right there. Okay. The next guy we have is Bradley Beal. Beal has been playing really well. He does have the, 50, 60-point upside. The price is reasonable considering that for that same price, for that same type of production, we could pick him over DeMar DeRozan. Let's look at some of his stats. Bradley Beal. As you can see, he's 8,500. Preferably would like to have him under 8,000. Just seems to, you get more bang for your buck around that arena. But if John Wall is out, which is kind of leaning at that direction at this point, we never know until the last minute, then he's definitely gonna be in play. And we'll see what we can do from there. Him against Chicago wasn't all that great, but right now Chicago's defense has been somewhat decimated. Dwayne Wade is out for the season. Of course, everybody knows that with the elbow injury, and I don't think they have anybody that can actually guard Bradley Beal. So, and then last season, let's look and see what happened last season here. And guys, this is the process that I go through every single day when I do DFS. Usually it takes me about, give or take about 1 to 2 hours to get all of my research done. And then maybe another 15 to 30 minutes to build lineups based on, my solid picks. So performance-wise, it wasn't all that great. He has a fairly decent matchup, but I think overall, the usage is definitely going to go in his favor if John Wall is out. Of course, if anybody is a lover of John Wall and is a lover of Washington at home, then you can always pivot off to other players as well. Brandon Jennings being one as a backup point guard to John Wall. So anyways, Brad Beal is a good look. But there's someone that I feel like that could be better. And right now I'm looking at Devin Booker. Let's see. Let's look at Devin Booker's position here. And mind you, they have one of the second highest over/under in the slate tonight. Right now, according to Daily Fantasy Nerd, he's 4th on the list, even though he has the highest usage. Let's switch that up there. So, and his DVP is pretty reasonable. The points allowed, they're allowed at 111 points. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. No. Yeah. So, 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. The projected points for Phoenix is 111. Orlando allows 108 points, give or take, even though they're a slower paced team. Of course, we had the discussion about that. Oh, and by the way, last night I told y'all Klay Thompson was a boom or bust play, and he boomed. So, if anybody picked Klay Thompson last night, good for you. I wasn't going to go there. I didn't want to spend $7,000 on Klay Thompson. If he was like 6,500, then yeah, I definitely would go for that. But anyways, move along with life. So that's the guy that I like a lot tonight, outside of Jordan Crawford. So, for the sake of moving forward, we're going to go with Devin Booker. Now, mind you, if we get news that John Wall is out, then I'm definitely going to plug in a lineup with Bradley Beal, because he's going to be definitely getting all of the usage. And see, the thing, guys, I'm looking for guys that can give me the same amount of production, that, who are – in which production is similar to the 89 and the 99, the $8,000 and $9,000 players and whatnot. So that's basically the thing that I'm actually pushing for. I'm looking for upside, and I'm looking for upside at a very cheap price. And of course, I'm willing to pay up in other positions, but right now, those are two guys that I'm looking at right now. Next person is James Harden, of course, on FanDuel. He is a shooting guard, and so if we have some space left, maybe we could switch out Booker for Harden, or Crawford for Harden. But of course, James Harden. There's really no explanation needed on James Harden. But for the sake of the conversation, let's look at what he did against New Orleans last time. Okay. 12-6. I mean, not really the best, not really the worst. That's his floor. And of course, the past, minus the Cleveland game, he's been hitting floor the majority share of the time. Either met value or has seen his floor. Okay. So he has a high floor. So if you want to use James Harden, he's definitely cash playable. GPP wise, you could play him too. You never know. I mean, this might be a different game from what it was last time. I don't know what the over-under was on that game, but it looks like it's going to be the same as tonight. So that's James Harden's for you. Brook Lopez. A lot of people are sleeping on Brook Lopez. And the thing is, his price on FanDuel has not jumped, has not jumped by much. If I'm not mistaken, let's look at Brook Lopez center position. Yeah, let's see. His price went up by 700. But his consistency is good. His upside is somewhat limited at 35%, but he's been consistently making 32.1 fantasy points or better. So, with that being said, I definitely like him a lot, especially at home. Let's see what his home away splits look like. Let's see, home 33.2, away 31.6, 0 days rest 30. And look, guys, I mean, the past, let's see, 6 games, he's been averaging well over 30 fantasy points, like well over 33 fantasy points. So, just something to look at. He's definitely something that I want to play. There are other players in the mix that you can pick from, but I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to go off the top of the list, and I will go with Brook Lopez at 7,000. See here, let's move him down here. Brook Lopez. All right, so right now I have about $42,600 left in my salary. Okay, and then, mind you, on the list that I have here, actually, Jordan Crawford is not on on my list. I still like him though. Devin Booker, he's not on my list in the shooting guard department. Excuse me. And but Brook Lopez in the center position, he is number 5 on my list. Okay, so what I like to do is it's like almost like a process of elimination. So based on, I guess, certain strategies, I'm pulling from different players. I'm pulling players, based on if they correlate with with the different strategies that I have to create my lineups. Because you can have an over/under strategy, you can have a defense for position strategy. And this one I'm just going off of who's giving up the most points and then who has the best value for the dollar. Okay, and this is what my optimizer represents: the best value for the dollar. Players that you can pick and can actually do what they're supposed to do. Let's see. Another person whose price dropped by 400 is Nick Young. Honestly, I don't trust Nick Young. I will fade him. Honestly, Karl Anthony Towns seems like a good play. DeMarcus Cousins seems like a good play, even though he is a center and not a power forward anymore. Well, he's never been a power forward on FanDuel. So as you can see, we have a lot of centers going on right now. That's pretty interesting. Harrison Barnes, let's see, right now, he's not on my list, but, you know, he does make for a good argument. Let's see, let's look at some of his stats. Dallas versus Philadelphia. Dallas doesn't do all that. I mean, they're okay against small forwards, but Harrison Barnes has been he's been mediocre, really. Not good, not great. You know, right now he's 6,100. When he was at 6,700, he did 27.9 fantasy points against them, and I think that was the last time he played against them this year. So, you know, 6,100. You know, when he's away, you know, he scores 29. He had a day's rest, supposed maybe meet value, hopefully exceed it. The over-under is one of the lowest in the slate outside of the Toronto-Detroit game. But in the midst of that, there's still opportunity. And then on top of that, he's at the top of the list. For that amount of money, I'm thinking of somebody else. I was thinking maybe Jay Crowder. Yeah, I was definitely thinking about Jay Crowder at 5,600. Isaiah Thomas is out tonight. Marcus Smart is supposed to start. I feel like there's going to be some good usage bump to Jay Crowder tonight, and I think that I'd rather have him than Harrison Barnes. So let's look at Jay Crowder's numbers here. He has a good defense, you know, a good matchup against Brooklyn. As of late, Jay Crowder has not been performing very well. Harrison Barnes has been performing better, but considering that he's facing Brooklyn, let's see, last time did they face Brooklyn? You know, he didn't really meet value last time, but because Isaiah Thomas is out, you know, it's going to be basically, you know, these three guys, Horford, Bradley, Crowder, Smart. Those guys are going to really, you know, see some serious business going on with that. So just because Isaiah Thomas is out, I think Crowder is definitely going to be one of the guys that I want to play at 5,600 against Brooklyn, who give up a lot of points to every position. Even though they've been playing very competitive due to Jeremy Lin coming back, I think that's pretty dope. So right now we got Jordan Crawford, Devin Booker, Jay Crowder, Brook Lopez. I still have 37,000 left, in which I could spend up to 74 per player. Oh, excuse me. So let's move along. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's actually a shooting guard on FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's a shooting guard because you got Chris Middleton in the mix. So, you know, honestly, I don't like playing Giannis too much. Honestly, I don't really see the big fuss other than his, you know, giant ass name. But he's a dope player when he has the right matchup. You know, he's playing against the Lakers, and because I put that much energy towards him, let's look at his numbers. So it's above average. Usage is the highest on the team. Player efficiency rating is the highest on the team. They allow the Lakers allow 111 points to the opposing team per game, which is sad, but it is the truth. Last time he played them at 11-2, he had a 60 burger. So with 1 day's rest, his floor is looking somewhere between 44, 47, somewhere in the mix. I mean, you know, he's definitely a consideration. You know, I could play with that if I wanted to. But for right now, I'm just kind of going through the motion of, just putting in my value plays and seeing who has the most bang for their buck. All right. So Vucevic, I don't know how he did last night. I actually had a chance to check out his numbers. John Wall, of course, questionable. Okafor, let's see, against Dallas. If Nerlens Noel is not playing, then I feel Okafor might be a definitely good play tonight at the center position. He probably be the center that I would go for outside of Brook Lopez. I just, right now, well, it'll be in this order. It'll be Lopez, Okafor, Towns. And the thing is with Towns, he is playing Miami. So, he's more athletic than Whiteside, but I feel Whiteside has more body. So, we'll just see how they bang. Matter of fact, Karl Anthony Towns. Let's see how he's performing against Whiteside. 48.6. He's 10-6. He's 400 more from the last time they played. So 48.6. Yeah. And we have him here for 50. So right around average, cash game. A lot of people might be looking towards Cousins more so than Towns because he's $1,200 cheaper. So, have your way at it. A nice pivot off of James Harden, guys, is Lou Williams. Of course, everyone knows Lou Williams had a monster-ass game a couple nights ago. So he's definitely somebody you can look at. We already talked about Jay Crowder. TJ Warren. He's actually on my list outside of what I have inside this optimizer here. And I think I like Warren. I like Warren a lot, actually. He's actually number 3 on my list as opposed to Crowder being number 6. So, 36.2. He's been very consistent. Now that Bledsoe's kind of out of the picture, which is kind of like a sad story for me because I actually like Bledsoe a lot. But, people got to move on. He's been very consistent. He didn't play against Orlando the last showing, but this guy has been very consistent, guys. I mean, over the last 3 to 5 games, he's been averaging over 30, 35 fantasy points, you give or take. And, he has at least 1 day's rest. At home, 23.7, the floor, so for him to be 6'3", slightly expensive, due to the fact that, before that, he was, doing a whole lot better in the 5 range. I like him a lot still. He's gonna play a lot of minutes. It's a high over/under game. So I like TJ Warren. I like Warren. Matter of fact, let's look at some numbers here. Warren, 70% consistency, 52% upside. So he has a 52% chance of exceeding his value. So that's good. Of course, he's, his price bump of $1,500 is not the best, but he can still, put in that work. I think in a situation like that, you just kind of have to weigh your options. Do you want Harrison Barnes or do you want TJ Warren or do you want both? So, right now, TJ Warren, the opponent plus minus is not looking all that great. Harrison Barnes is looking better. So, for the sake of the show, we're just going to plug in Barnes. For the most part, he's been more consistent, and we'll see where everything goes from there. Let's see. So right now, let's backtrack a little bit. We have Jordan Crawford, Devin Booker, Jay Crowder, Harrison Barnes, and Brook Lopez. All right, we're still missing point guards and power forwards, and we still have 30,000 in our salary to play with, almost 31,000. But let's see here. Point guard. Jordan Crawford is a shooting guard. Here, let me do this. The point guard. The first point guard that we have in the mix is going to be D'Angelo Russell at 6,100. He's been, for the most part, not all that consistent. He's not consistent at all. He's been doing pretty good every now and then. His DVP is not even looking all that great. And then Milwaukee, they play, some really good defense against point guards. Last time they played, he only had 25.1 fantasy points. And for 6,100, you will want him to score 30 fantasy points or better. And right now, he's projected to score 35.54. Fantasy Labs, they have him. Let's see, where is he? Okay, where is he? Am I missing him? Huh. Interesting. Okay, I'm not seeing him. Okay, I'm not worried about it. But the person who I will fall right into would be Jordan Clarkson over D'Angelo Russell, even though D'Angelo Russell's usage is a bit higher. For around the same amount, I can get a bigger upside out of Jordan Clarkson than D'Angelo Russell at this point. So, with that being said, I'm going to pick Jordan Clarkson. And let's see. Let's look at. Let's look at some power forwards. Now, on my list, I have Anthony Davis. That's in the mix. Anthony Davis has seen his workload from a defensive end cut out, so he doesn't necessarily have to do too much anymore on the defense, even though he can. Right now, his usage is way up. Efficiency is up. He has a good matchup against Houston. How much did he do against Houston last time? Let's find out. 46.3. He's 11-2. Now he's 11-2. He was 10-6 then. Let's see. Any other time they played? My concern with Anthony Davis is always going to be injury. If he's going to get injured, or, if someone touched him the wrong way, or somebody just blew a whistle at him, if he's going to get injured. So this is the part where I just have to kind of just look at the numbers and look at it for what it is. And so right now, it looks like he's not even in the mix. Wow. Oh, yeah, he is. There he is. Okay, right here. His plus minus at 1.84. He has 76% consistency rating, in which his upside is at 44%. So he has a 44% chance to give you he has a 44% chance to exceed his value. So, I have money. In here, so I could use him. But yeah, I could use him. Let's see, that'll put me at 14,000 per player. So the player that I'm thinking about, honestly, I don't like Anthony Davis. Like I can live without Anthony Davis, y'all. I don't want him. Who I want is two people that I want on my list right now that are on my list outside of what I have here is Saric and Randall. Now, if you don't like Saric, you can always you can always go to Holmes right? So let's see. Dirk Nowitzki. See, Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk. 2.69 plus minus. Bargain of 81%, 72% consistency rating, has a 38% chance of exceeding value. Sarge has a 49% chance of exceeding value. Marquise has a 44% chance. So you know what? Let's do this. Rashawn Holmes has a 52% chance of exceeding value, but his matchup is not all that great. I'm really looking for upside, guys. So I want Saric. I want Saric and Randall. Both of those guys have been very, very consistent. And I've been having my eyes on them for a long time, especially with, the type of matches that they've been having. All right. So last but not least, now we got 10-6 for the point guard. And we could go John Wall. If he doesn't play, then, we would have to kind of figure out who we would want in place of him. Right now, I'll tell you right off the bat, I have Holiday, Lynn, and Peyton. And then we have Rondo. Holiday, Lynn, Peyton, and Rondo. Those are the four guys that I'm looking at outside of John Wall if he does not play. For the sake of the show, though, I'm going to just plug him in. Okay. All right. And he's a game time decision. We have Jordan Clarkson, John Wall, Jordan Crawford, Devin Booker, Jay Crowder, Harrison Barnes, Julius Randle, Dario Saric, and Brooke Lopez. Okay. So for Saric, let's see here. Dude's been beasting. He's been eating so well. Good Lord. He's been eating so well. So well. Rashawn Holmes, he's been eating as well, too. Let's look him up. He's been eating well for his value. Been, 6x, 5x, 7x, fours, I mean, you can stack those two guys together and really make it do something. You know what, guys? I think I'm going to do something here. I'm going to remove John Wall. I'm going to move Crawford. Before I do that, let's look at Julius Randle. He is 6,800. You know what? I think I want Nowitzki better. Nowitzki is going to get the minutes. And he's 500 cheaper. Okay. So 11-1. You know what? Let's go with James Harden tonight, y'all. I like him better. Then in the point guard position, we can pick Lynn or Rondo. Right now, let's see. Lynn is second on the list. And Rondo is like sixth on the list. Let's see. Rondo seems like he's back to his usual self. So let's see what we got here. Yep, the last two times he started, he's been exceeding value. He's at 5,800 right now. So if we can get him to do another 7x, that'd be good. Lynn been balling out of his mind, kind of sort of, for the price that he's at right now. 5, 6x. He's at 5.9 right now. At the end of the day, you just basically have your pick. I think Rondo is cheaper, so I'm gonna ride out Rondo. Yep, Rondo over Lynn. And of course, with everything that I'm discussing, guys, if you have the time to just kind of go back over how I'm going about picking my lines and everything like that, you basically gonna you can easily swap out players and go from there. So this is my lineup: Jordan Clarkson, Rajon Rondo, Jordan Crawford, James Harden, Jay Crowder, Harrison Barnes, Dirk Nowitzki, Dario Saric, and Brook Lopez. Okay, so that's a lineup. That's a lineup that you can build from. That's a lineup that you can look at and go from there. All right. What I want to do real quick, I want to go over DraftKings. I've actually been having more success. I've had success on both sides, but I'm just now getting a better hang on the DraftKings aspect. So for those who are DraftKings, more DraftKings than anything else, this is for you. I'm definitely oh, hold on, let me switch it over. There we go. Okay, so Wiggins, GPP, DeRozan, he's 8,000. So he's definitely in play on DraftKings. Bradley Beal can be in play. Probably will do DeRozan over Bradley Beal or vice versa. James Harden is at 11.8. Of course, you could do whatever you want with that. Brook Lopez definitely in play on DraftKings. I probably will stack centers tonight because I have two centers that are in the mix. I will stack centers. I can go, one cheap, one expensive, or I can go with two mid-price. So, I could do Vucevic and Lopez. I don't think a lot of people are going to be on them. I think a lot of people are going to be on Allen Williams and a couple of other folks. All right. You have Devin Booker definitely in play for the price. Actually, hold on, wait, Devin Booker. He's 300 more on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. So I mean, it's whatever. Nick Young, that's like your boomer bust punt play. John Wall, he's at 9.5. If he plays, definitely yes. If not, take him out. Giannis, cheaper on DraftKings. Last time he played Los Angeles, he went for 60 fantasy points or more. So, I mean, I would take a chance to play him in. Jordan Crawford, of course, you already know. I love him a lot. He's a little bit more expensive with DraftKings than on FanDuel. DeMarcus Cousins, just don't trust the. I don't trust the situation that he has over there with New Orleans. Harrison Barnes, he's 6,300 compared to FanDuel. He was 61. I probably might slide him in there. Robin Lopez against Marcin Gortat. That might be a good look. Might do like a Brook Lopez. Might do a Lopez center stack. Oh shit. Yeah, that might be dope right there. Do a center stack on that one. Do the Lopez stack. That's what I'm call that shit right there. Lopez stack. Russell, don't trust him. Rather go with Clarkson. Bradley, definitely in play. Jay Crowder, like I told y'all, he's definitely in play. Lou Williams, I will play him instead of James Harden, for salary relief. Al Horford, don't trust him a day in my life. TJ Warren is too expensive on DraftKings. Terrence Jones, wish he was still back in New Orleans. Dirk Nowitzki is definitely in play. Dragic, I don't trust his health. Reggie Jackson is actually number 4 on my list as far as the opposing team giving up a lot of points to the point guard position. So he's definitely somebody that you can, shoot the stars for. Projected to do about 30.28 fantasy points. Floor being 24.56. Drew Holiday, although he's number 1 on my list on the point guards, don't really trust him too much. Let's switch over to DraftKings, shall we? Okay, so on DraftKings, he is number 3 on the list, and as you can see here, he hasn't played that well against Houston, and he hasn't really been playing that well over the last 5 games. Um, I feel like Cousins took a lot of that juice out of him, which kind of sucks. He just hasn't played against well. He hasn't played well against them. I mean, I know the person that I would pivot to would be Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly, he's consistent. Honestly, guys, I feel Patrick Beverly is matchup proof. And because the thing about it is, look at this. He shuts them down on the peripheral stats alone. Let me pull this thing up just a little bit. Rebounds, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. He had 5 turnovers, whatever. He had 2 points, but he got you on rebounds, assists, and steals. The peripheral stats is what make Patrick Beverly such an awesome play. You know what I mean? Especially on DraftKings. And then the time before that, when he had his points going, he had 13 points. 3 let's see. I think these are steals. Oh, my bad. I'm looking at this thing wrong. No, 3-pointers made. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Where is it? Okay. He had 3 3-pointers made. Of course, you get 0.5 points on DraftKings per 3-point made. Rebounds, assists, steals. I mean, and he's getting the minutes on top of that too. So, anytime this guy gets over 30 minutes against New Orleans, he's had some very decent upside. He's definitely in play. Even on FanDuel, he's definitely in play. If you want to play him on FanDuel instead of Rondo or Clarkson. And as a matter of fact, I probably, just because I talked my way into it, I might just pick Patrick Beverly. Or we can go for the young gun, Tyler Ulis. If you want to go there, you can go Tyler Ulis. You know what I'm saying? So, those are options that you can use right there. And as you can see, you could just, basically play Legos with your lineups, and depending on how much money you have to work with, you can go back and forth and just kind of just do your motions and everything like that. But that's DraftKings right there for y'all. Let's see. Anybody else that I think might be a good look? Ryan Anderson, I don't trust with my life. Serge Ibaka, I probably will go with Patterson over Ibaka. Kelly Olynyk is always in play, especially if Al Horford sucks ass like he normally does. Let's see. Jimmy Butler. I told y'all about that stack. So you got Rondo, Butler, Mirotic. That's definitely something that y'all might want to consider doing. And there are a couple of other guys that's in the mix too that you can, think about, maybe Bobby Portis and Zipser. So, that's a team stack right there for you. But guys, I mean, that's basically what I have. You know what I mean? I don't, I think overall, this is something that I'm definitely going to be looking into going into the evening here. Already got my lineups kind of pre-made, and just a matter of just figuring out who I really want. Some of the things I'm going to be looking at will be the minutes, the usage. Of course, I showed y'all some historical stats on these guys over the last 2 to 4 meetings. So again, these are some of the things that I'm looking at right now. What I want to do is make sure that one of the issues that I have as a DFS player, just a side note, is I have a hard time at times finding who's value, who's going to be the real value. You know what I'm saying? And especially for the dollar. So I tend to want to make what the industry likes to consider as a hybrid lineup, a lineup that is good for both cash and GPP, because I do like security, but also like some type of upside somewhere in my lineup. And so hopefully with y'all looking at this lineup that I have here, you can see something of the sort in there, because some of these players will be more considered for GPP rather than cash. This might be a solid cash game. You never know. So if you like what you see, leave me a comment on below. Hit me up on the DFS 50/50 if you have any questions regarding players. The optimizer that I have is still in its early stages, but it's been very effective. As far as being right on the money with the players, I'm at like 65-70% correct. The only issue that I have, it comes from me and how I'm generating my lineups. Because right now, as of lately, I haven't really been using a lot of optimizers, like where I'm automatically generating my lineups. I've been just doing everything by hand, just because I feel like when you have a baby, such as a DFS portfolio optimizer that I have, you want to make sure that you're tending to it in a way that's going to be beneficial to not only you, but other people as well. So right now, I'm actually saving up some money to get with a couple of developers to help me kind of bring this thing together. And with some of the, like points allowed to shooting guards, point guards, so on and so forth, I want to get that into an automated system as well, where instead of me having to write everything down, I can just plug that in. I'm a couple formulas away from generating myself, but I want to kind of make it look pretty for my personal usage so that as things develop and grow, we can make this happen. So appreciate y'all tuning in. It's your boy Sean Blaque. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you got something out of this. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Y'all be blessed. Get that money.